Hey everybody, this is Brett, and I got back from the Paul McCartney concert yesterday evening, and if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't do it. And that's not because Paul wasn't awesome, because he is, but several things. It was too far a drive, and the smog was just horrendous, you know. Even though it's not like during rush hour or something, I'm just sensitive to chemicals and stuff, not only physically but mentally as well, because when you learn about all of these things, then it's just like it's harder on you. You have to step it up and you really use your head to stay away from them, because it's like you've heard the old saying, what you don't know won't hurt you, something like that. Well, it's true, because your mind is a big factor here. So the smog and the driving for 8 hours each way, 2 days straight, was bad. And then I got sick because I'm still doing a lot of cleansing, and that has nothing to do with the concert, but when I got to the concert, I was thinking to myself, and before even, this is going to be really noisy, but I like Paul so much, I'm just going to go for it anyway, you know? And it was so freaking loud. And I was like, they could turn that down to half the volume that they had it on, and it might be good. And so, anyways, and then, once again, if you know a lot of things, then it's such a detriment sometimes. You just have to use your head. And a big venue like that, now, you can imagine how many cell phones are there in one place. And I was thinking to myself, as these people are right next to me are holding up their cell phones 2 feet from my head, oh my God, there's probably thousands and thousands of cell phones in this place, you know? And so, the concert was great. I mean, if I'd have taken earplugs, that might have been helpful. But then you're not going to believe this. I got back to my motel room, and just outside my motel room, a couple of gangsters parked their car, and right next to mine, 3 feet away from my car, and then they went out next to the motel next door and robbed somebody and shot him. And then they came back to the car, and I knew that they were up to something because they didn't go into a motel room. I saw them pull up, and then they didn't go into a motel room. They walked down the parking lot. And then I was like, I wonder what they're up to, and I wonder if I should move my car away from there so that they don't do something to my car, because you know what I mean. So anyways, they walk away, and then I hear this bang! And I'm like, I wonder if that was a firework or a gun shot. Turned out it was a gunshot. And so, about 5 minutes or less later than that, I see the blue lights flashing. But just before I saw the blue lights flashing, I heard them come back, and then I looked out the peephole in the door, and there they were. And the one said to the other one, "We should have been more patient." And I was like, I wonder if that had to do with trying to get money from some person. I don't know what it was. But anyways, later the cops, they left. Or no, they got caught by the cops. For some reason, they went back over to that motel, got caught by the cops, and then the cops came over here and to my motel and found the car, and were towing it at 3 in the morning outside my door. I mean, and it was not funny. I had to talk to the detective. You wouldn't have believed this shit. I had to talk to the detective and tell him that whole story that I just told you. He said that he probably won't need me as any kind of a witness or anything, but because they just basically caught them red-handed. And anyway, so I drove home yesterday. But I'll tell you a couple of really good things. Besides Paul's being incredible, as I think he's like 69 or something, mind-blowing, 70. That on the way home on I-40, I saw a giant a solar farm. Thousands and thousands of solar panels in a big, big field. Incredible, mind-blowing. So, you know, there's always jewels in the rough, but also I'm not going to live ever again in a big city. Excuse me. The energy of it is just nauseating for me now. I just cannot stand it. And I mean, I can stand it for a while, but not for very long. And I was so glad to be back in Asheville. And I was so tired from being up all night. And then also, another jewel was that when I stopped at a rest stop on the way back, I was really distressed. And there was this guy that was just great to talk to, Alex. And he may see this. If he sees this, hey Alex, it was great, man. And so I needed somebody to talk to, and Alex filled the void. That was so cool. But I hope you all are well, and I hope that maybe you get something out of this, and that is maybe that as we change our diets, we have to change our lifestyles. And that's not easy because there are so many of the things that we used to have that we still love in our previous days. But we've got to move on, and we've got to find things, just like with the diet, we've got to find things that have similar properties to fill the voids for what we used to have and love before. And so I'm going to go to small, unplugged, or acoustic venues here in Asheville. I've got a great town to go to these kinds of things in. There's plenty of Appalachian fiddlers and guitar players and everything else. And I'm just going to have to be happy with that. So thanks so much for joining me. Be well.
I tell the story, I was lucky enough to know Jimmy a little bit when he came over to England in the 60s. And he was a really nice guy, you know, a very humble guy. And one of the greatest tributes I think he or anyone ever paid us, and me in particular, was that we'd released Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band on a Friday night. We'd released that record on a Friday, and 2 days later on the Sunday, Jimmy was playing, and he opened with that song, you know. So it was like, it was a great thing for me. But as I say, the only trouble was, he's got this little bar here, it's a Bixby bar, they call it Wanga Bar, or else you can do all those effects with it, you know. The thing is, in those days, it used to make the guitar go totally out of tune. And you come to play it, and it'd be gone, you know. So Jimmy's at this concert, and we're all in the audience, and he's standing there with this hopelessly out of tune guitar. He looks in the audience, he says, "Is Eric out there, man?" He's looking for Eric Clapton, you know. And Eric was there. And he looks right at us. "Hey man, will you come up and tune this for me, man?" Excellent. Tune it yourself, man. Anyway, the reason I got this guitar is this is the original guitar I played on the original record.